Robert E. Cornerstore Podcast. We're going to do a short video and talk about the Lakers being eliminated. Now, this has happened literally over a week, and I wanted this to marinate a little bit, just to kind of see how the landscape is going to be as far as the playoffs. And it's some good teams left, man. It's about time that the NBA starts to market their other superstars, because everything's not about LeBron James. So being that he's out of the playoffs, how do you feel about that?
First things first, I do agree with you that they need to market these other superstars in the league, and they are superstars. You get the Devin Booker, Donovan Mitchell, Trey Young out there in the lineup, yeah. They still got up and coming things like Philly. So, on one note, hey, you need to plug them up, get them some commercials, show the league who these young guys are. For me being get off my grad generation, I am a little upset about the Lakers. And I'm going to tell you what, like you said, I had time to marinate about it. We talked about this here and there, but to put on this podcast right now, I really felt like LeBron gave up this year. I mean, I know he was injured and everything, but I felt like this year he gave up. And
but why would he give up, though? Why would he give up, though?
I know, wait a minute, I believe. And I'm pretty sure people won't agree, but I really do believe that he's hurt.
I mean, even he admitted that how he won't be 100% following his ankle injury, but out of his own mouth, he said, these shoulders are built for a reason. So if you're going to talk like that, you got to be about it. Obviously, we all knew that AD was banged up.
Which is always banged up. Which is always banged up. And that's how to be proper.
Mm-hmm. Like, are you you at the station?
No, I'm in a boss.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's just like a lot of noise in the background.
Yeah, a lot of noise in the background. Wait, get out here. Then I want to pick back off that every day. Okay. This is the return here? Yeah. That's good. All right. That's fine. That's fine, man. You have a great one today. You too. You in the food spot, trust me. Yeah, I get in trouble. Right now, I'm top right up every day. This is the part. Look, this is the part of the podcast that you don't edit, and then they hear it, and we be talking about like we're white Republicans and we don't hate black people. And then to get out. So it's like, all right, and we get up from something else. Okay, now are you ready?
Yeah.
Yeah, like Anthony Davis right now, he's really the problem. Like I said, LeBron was banged up, but I still could have felt LeBron. He only going to give me 28 points a game now, maybe 9 rebounds, 8 assists. Anthony Davis is really the anchor of the team. And he was hurt in New Orleans, and like I said, I felt back then he still was a great player. I said, okay, he's injury prone. But now that he done came to the Lakers, it's really starting to be a bother because now you're looking like injured all in New Orleans. He got great talent.
Yeah, very talented.
But very talented kid from the shot. We love that. But these injuries, these little nicks, and he got to deal with through this whole. I heard Kevin Garnett say he got to retrain or whatever he's doing. It ain't working. Barkley said that. A few players said that he really needs to do something else. Because whatever he's doing in off season ain't working. Because he's coming back to the season, he's fucking getting hurt the second week of the season. He going to Christmas. You know what I'm saying? It's like shit like that is starting to be a bother. And I really feel like the Lakers need one more person. I do. I mean, at this time, this day and age, with these young basketball players, I see people like Bridges for the Suns, and like it's just so many young stars that can hoop, man. That you gotta have. You need dogs on your team. Lakers, we always been known for that.
Y'all got a dog. Y'all got Montrezl Harrell. He a dog.
He a
but
dog.
Y'all ain't playing.
He a dog. I don't know if he's a dog household was coach or he did.
No one knows.
When he came in, even when he came in, I think he was just rushing it so much. He wants to do so well. I think he rushed it and fucked everything up as well.
Okay,
I hear that Dennis Schroeder got into it with Magic. Magic say Schroeder isn't he don't his blood don't pump gold and purple and gold.
Well, Schroeder, he didn't get into it with Magic. It's just Magic opened up his motherfucking mouth talking about something. Schroeder's not a Laker. It's very one-sided. Schroeder, we never heard anything publicly about him trashing Magic Johnson. There was Magic going out into the media talking about Schroeder's not a true Laker. Like, come on, man. Y'all got to be serious.
Hey, whatever happened in that locker room or when everybody tried to talk to them, apparently it rubbed Magic the wrong way. Magic felt it, he said it. I mean, if you ask me, Dennis Schroeder didn't look like the $80 million player he said he was.
Yeah, but Magic should open up his mouth because he quit on the Lakers as well.
Well, he's still the ambassador. He's still the ambassador of the Lakers. He can quit one position in LA and go to something else. He's the Lakers.
Magic Johnson. Right now, Magic Johnson is the mascot of the Lakers. He's a mascot. He go leave that. He gonna leave that position as president of basketball operations to so that he could tweet about other players around the league.
Right, because he's like LeBron in the way when I say tweet about other players, and when I say like LeBron, I mean people kill us. Well, it kills me to hear other athletes say they don't pay attention to what they hear on TV, or they just focus on themselves and their game. They a lie. Everybody's watching everybody. Everybody's trying to be one up on everybody.
So yeah, man, Magic Johnson, he quit on the Lakers because he didn't realize that position requires a lot of work. It's definitely a true grind. You got to be on the road. You got to scout players. You got to go overseas and scout out some talent. It's a lot of work into being the president of basketball operations for the LA Lakers. But all Magic Johnson wants to do is just have a little comfortable position and let Rob Pelinka do all the work. But once he realized that there was a lot of work into it, and he really couldn't fire Luke Walton unless Jeannie Buss gave the green light.
Correct.
He felt that his authority was being questioned as far as him not making certain moves. So that's why he quit on the Lakers.
But you gonna tell me he still can't represent the Lakers, or he can't speak for the Lakers?
I mean, yes, he is a Hall of Fame player. He is the greatest Laker of all time. I will give him that.
I would say he's the second greatest Laker, but okay.
As far as Kobe being the greatest Laker?
Yeah, I still think Kobe's the greatest Laker. He had that drive. He had that Michael Jordan drive, and I mean Kobe could have had 6 rings if Karl Malone, Gary Payton, and Shaq wasn't acting like they were scared of Detroit. If rest his soul, David Stern and blocked the Chris Paul trade, Chris Paul would have been at the championship by now. People looking at Chris Paul like he just got good. Paul's business good, and he was greater early in his career when he was trying to come to LA, and that deal got blocked.
Yeah, but that deal was so one-sided. It just didn't make any sense. So yeah, no wonder why David Stern.
The two teams were going to do it, no matter how you or David Stern felt about the trade. The Lakers was going to get the trade. They was going to compensate them some money as well, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, but still, at the end, one-sided. I mean, I'm shocked that they actually greenlit the Kwame Brown for Pau Gasol trade, because that was so one-sided.
I mean, you say that's one-sided, but there's two top forward/centers. That was the number one pick in Kwame Brown, and people thought he still had an upside to go with it.
As far as you saying how the Lakers need one more player, I mean, every time we're talking about a LeBron James team, they always need one more player. I mean, Michael Jordan never had that type of mindset where, oh, man, we're just one player away. I mean, Michael's mindset was, I'm going to get it done with the guys on my team, point blank period. But with LeBron, every time he goes through some type of adversity, he always got to have one more player. They always one player away. I'm like, hey, come on, man. Just like Barkley said, like you got to have all the talent. You want all the players. You don't want to compete. I mean, did I tell a lie? Am I off base?
Yeah, it's not that far off base, but I mean, I might pick you off still.
Okay.
The reason why I say that is, you say Jordan played with his team. Jordan got, I mean, you still say Jordan. Reinsdorf is what him and my little guy, Jerry Reinsdorf, and then Jerry Krause. Jerry Krause put that team together, man. And it was, whether you like it or not, Horace Grant was going to be an all-star. Scottie Pippen was going to be an all-star. Tony Kukoc was going to be, now I still consider him the top 5 to 10 European basketball players of all time. He's in my top 10.
I wouldn't say that. I mean, he was definitely a pioneer, like during that time. But I wouldn't call him like a top 10.
Okay, if he wasn't top 10 at that time, he was one of the top 5 best basketball players in Europe. And he showed his butt when he got over to the States. Tony Kukoc was he's in the Basketball Hall of Fame.
And he actually showed his true worth after he hit that game-winning shot after Scottie punked out and wanted to sit on the bench.
Exactly.
And
the worst
the
thing that could have happened was for Kukoc was to hit that shot.
Yes, and like for the nerve of Scottie Pippen to like all of a sudden come out with a book. Did you hear about the excerpts that came out of Scottie's book?
No.
Well, Scottie got a book coming out in the fall, right? And what was released so far is how Scottie talking about how Michael Jordan would have 6 championships as it wasn't for me. I mean, we all know that, but like, dude, did you have to say that out loud? Like, he really feel unappreciated. Like, we call him like the top 50 player of all time. He is one. Well, back then he was one of the top 50, but like right now, like literally 20 years later since they had that top 50.
I'm pretty sure he's in the top 100.
Yeah, he in the top 100, but he ain't top 50 no more. But
I don't think he's top 50.
But still, back then we gave Scottie his flowers, but he needed Michael Jordan in order to be the champion that he is today. Because like, I'll keep saying what? I keep saying what?
You keep saying he would have been this, he would have been that. Listen, Michael Jordan would not have won championship. I don't care. He would have. You know what he would have had to do? He would have had to get people like LeBron did. There's no way Michael Jordan would have got a championship without Scottie Pippen. No way, no how.
Michael would have won. Michael would have won regardless.
He would have had 6. He would have had. No, he wouldn't. He would have had 6 championships right now.
How many championships would Michael have had he not had Scottie Pippen?
1, maybe 2. 1, maybe.
Okay. So basically, okay.
Did he win anything without Scottie? Did he win 1 championship without Scottie Pippen?
He was still growing as a player. Like about time they won their first championship, they never looked back.
And by the time John Sally said it, a lot of the Pistons said it. By the time Michael Jordan won the championship, Scottie Pippen was the second best player in the NBA home.
In 1991, no, Scotty was not the second best player in the NBA. I mean, back then you still had Hakeem, you had Karl Malone, you still had Charles Barkley. He won the second best player.
By the 96 championship, he was the second best player in the league. By the time him and Scott Jordan was doing 40 points a game apiece, he's dunking over everybody. Don't forget, Jordan left Scottie Pippen. If it wasn't for a bad call, the Bulls lose to Houston in the finals. If it wasn't for a bad call, the Chicago Bulls go to Houston to the finals and lose. Scottie Pippen got the Bulls further than people ever thought. Am I right about that? Am I right?
I mean, you're partially right, but
no.
They still have to get past. They still have to get past Indiana in the Eastern Conference Finals because that was only the second round.
They would have got past Indiana. The Knicks was still the Knicks was their biggest nemesis, and that season still.
I mean, the Pacers were still lurking around, and
they were lurking, but
there wasn't a guarantee that the Bulls would have went past the Pacers. I mean, shit, like the Knicks went past the Pacers as well.
Right. So if the Knicks did it and they beat us by a bad call.
Yeah, we did take them 7 games, but
no, we took it 7 games. We would have won that in 6.
But the Bulls would have got swept by the Rockets, and the Knicks took them to 7.
The point is,
like the Bulls didn't have the horses to keep up with Houston in 1994. I mean, you had Kenny Smith, Sam Cassell, Otis Thorpe, Vernon Maxwell, Hakeem the Dream, Robert Horry. I mean, Houston was stacked. I mean, the Bulls wasn't going to win a fucking game.
And I tell people, that's what I tell people, that even with Michael Jordan, they would have lost one of those 2 championships against the Houston Rockets.
Dude,
do you agree?
We're talking about the 94 team as it was without Michael Jordan. That's what we're talking about. Michael would have found the way.
But when we still had Scottie Pippen he was going to get us to the finals, whether people liked it or not.
Yeah, but Scottie, as the alpha of a team, Scottie failed. He failed.
No. Guess what? As an alpha of the team, without Scottie, Michael Jordan always felt his way. Michael couldn't even win with the Wizards.
I mean, Michael wasn't expected to win a championship with the Wizards.
No, people thought Jordan had more history, and I'm going to be honest. Scottie Pippen had a better longevity career than Michael Jordan. Scottie went to Houston and that's kind of flop. But when Scottie went to Portland, he was re-energized.
Okay, as the alpha of the Portland Trailblazers, which he averaged literally maybe 15 points a game. This was up by 15 points in the fourth quarter, Game 7 against the Lakers. Scottie couldn't get it done as the alpha of that team. 6 championship experience. You going to Staples Center. You got a huge lead. You couldn't galvanize the horses and calm them down like, hey, we can get through this. But Scottie didn't do it.
When you talk to a lot of people, they say the same thing. Portland was talented 1 through 14, 1 through 12.
And they still didn't get it done.
They didn't have Kobe or Shaq, though. And at that time, those are the 2 best players in the league. At that time, that was your 1 and 2 months.
Kobe and Shaq in 2000. You know what? Kobe kind of grew up before our eyes in the playoffs. Because remember,
when he shot those 2 balls like Shaq already said. Nobody else said, big man, they don't want to shoot the ball. Nobody wants to shoot the ball but a rookie.
So yeah, it was ironic that we kind of knew Kobe Bryant from his infamous air balls at Utah. And then for his last game, he scored 60 points versus the Utah Jazz.
Okay, you ain't that up.
Right.
That's why I love sports. That's why I love sports.
See, like, being at the Lakers is out the playoffs, right? Now they're trying to. Now the media is trying to push this narrative about how they think the Lakers should try to get Dame, Steph, or probably Bradley Beal. I mean, Dame is one hell of a player. I respect him. He is a dog. He's an alpha. I mean, no one's entitled to a championship. If he chooses to stay in Portland, let him stay in Portland. But they're just trying to get him away from Portland so that they can kind of help LeBron James with his legacy. And shame on the Lakers organization, and shame on Anthony Davis's agent and Rich Paul, in which they had that boy go out there to play in Game 6 to like try to give it a go, knowing that he could have literally snapped his fucking groin in half.
I agree with that. No.
Davis did not come out there for Anthony Davis. He came out there for LeBron James's legacy. Now, if there was any other agent besides Rich Paul, do you think the agent would have been like, hey, man, you should play this game? You got a whole career to, like, look out to, to, like, look forward to. But since it was Rich Paul, do you think Rich Paul told him to go ahead and suit up?
I think he did that for the Lakers. And he should have been out there, but I will say Anthony Davis leads the purple and gold.
He didn't do it for the Lakers. He didn't do it for the Lakers.
Yes, he did.
He did it for LeBron, Ramon, James.
He doesn't play for LeBron James. He plays for the Los Angeles Lakers.
I mean, shit, when you got literally half your roster trying to push sports, you play for LeBron James. You play for LeBron James.
In other words, the two parts, you might be on the other side, but you still play for me, boy. Hey, how you doing?
Well, man, hey, I just wanted to get your take real quick about this whole Lakers thing, man, and it's gonna be interesting off season.
It's gonna be there. That's what I want to leave out with. It's gonna be a great off season for us. You heard it here first, as you.
Now, who do you predict will sign with the Lakers in off season?
Believe it or not, I think it's Bradley.
Also, Westbrook's name is out there as well.
I'm okay.
But they would have to give up some pieces. I'm thinking they're going to give up KCP, Kuzma, Schroeder.
Well, everybody knows Kuzma's gone. Schroeder, he lost that contract. Kuzma, I don't know what happened with Kuzma the last half of the season, as well as the playoffs. But I don't.
You know what, man? Like, Kuzma was like literally lights out during a bubble. As a matter of fact, you know, like everybody was kind of playing above themselves during the bubble. That's why the bubble championship is not really respected. I mean, even Hall of Famers don't respect the bubble championship. Charles Barkley said himself.
Well, that's the person that doesn't have the championship, so I'm pretty sure.
But Charles Barkley is an Emmy award-winning analyst for TNT. So when Barkley speaks, I listen.
I mean, that's the I do, but as you can see, he can't take a team to win half the time, 3/4 of the time.
I mean, that's part of entertainment. He just does hot takes like that. That's why he wins those awards.
Well, the hot take it is it's still a championship. We still want it. It's still counting. They just brave. The players just brave for being out there playing during that pandemic. Keep our minds off of it. They did that for the greater.
Wait. You said the players were what? Brave?
They were brave.
How they were brave? I mean, they were at a Disney resort playing basketball. How's that brave? I mean, during that time, I'm sure thousands of military personnel went overseas to like fight in the war. How was that brave to like play basketball to make millions in a resort? How is that brave?
It's brave because during that pandemic, I mean, people were losing their lives more than the people that go off to war, I mind you. And those people, you know, we still was new to it no matter what. We're still new to this, what this is. So for
I understand that people are dying.
They were risking their lives.
No, I won't say that because they had comprehensive COVID tests. People were quarantined. They had like top of the line cleaning services. I mean, they were literally in a bubble. So as far as like an outbreak happening inside the bubble,
it could have been. It was still a better chance of getting it because you still had Lou Williams go off to ATL. You had the boy that got married. His wife divorced him because he was trying to do the nurse. Things happened in that bubble. I'm pretty sure a lot more that didn't come out happened in that bubble.
Right, but when it was found out,
a bubble could get popped by a small, tiny pea, and that's all it took for them to risk their lives and have everybody catch that, and some people die. So they still took a chance by playing. And you know that because there was a lot of players that didn't play. There was a few players that didn't play.
Just
it
to
doesn't
compare,
matter who was it. They didn't play though, Bob. They didn't play because in fear of their life. So if they didn't play in fear of their lives, and the players that did go out and they did play, they were brave.
Well, if that's how you're going to call it, I mean, you know, shame on you because you're just totally out of touch. Totally out of touch.
We're going to always agree to disagree. Well, we're going to agree to disagree with this.
I'm fine with that, man. But hey, till next time, man, we'll talk some basketball, and hopefully our next video we'll talk about the NBA champion and what's going to happen moving forward during the off season, and if that particular team can repeat. So yeah, man. So like this championship is kind of wide open.
Yeah, I want to talk about it by the time we get to the Final Four. I want we to get back on around the Final
Four. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
All right, well, I'll catch up with you, man.
All right. Later.
All right. Well,